It's Gil. This is Burkland Gardens. So we're here today with a group of ginkgos, and ginkgos are considered a living fossil, um, millions of years old. So there's even records of ginkgos being in North America. We have a ginkgo forest in Vantage, Washington, old fossilized, um, might be petrified ginkgos, and so they were in a lot of areas. Now they're uh, you'll find them growing in Asia and China and that. But they've become very popular as an ornamental tree. They're a deciduous. They're not a conifer, but slightly related to conifers in that they have the same type of seed. They're a gymnosperm, meaning naked seeds. So they have that in common, but other than that, they're not. They have a regular leaf, and they lose their leaves in the wintertime. And in the fall, they turn a nice bright golden color. So really a nice fall color going on with them. And they now there's a lot of cultivars, available. I was just looking at my friend, Matt and Tim out there at Mr. Maple, and they have 150 different cultivars and of these different ginkgos available. So we've got a collection here too, and they're going to be available, coming up, maybe as early as this summer or fall. I think maybe some fall shipping is what we'll do. They're 2-year-old grafts, so they'll be pretty much a full 2-year-old when they become available. And a lot of them are on the more shrubby side. They'll be not upright, but then there's some like elmwood. We've got an elmwood here, and you're just looking at little sticks now. We'll get another video in a couple months when they come into leaf, and many of them are variegated. Like we've got California Sunrise, which has yellow variegation. We've got one called Garden Design, which isn't a registered name, but it Dave Helms got it down at Crispin Silva's down in Oregon. Crispin's been growing ginkgos and maples and stewardias and has a lot of plant discoveries. So Garden Design has that yellow variegation, a very nice yellow variegation. We've got 9 or 10 of those available that will be available. And another one called Gnome, Gold Spire, Everton Broom, which is a really small one. Got one called Buddy, which is another shrub-like one. And then some are grafted on understock that's been twisted a little bit, and then they're grafted onto that twisted understock, and they're more towards the end. So that little different look to them, and some people might be interested in that type of a look for their ginkgo, where it displays higher on the trunk. And then we've got a few. This one is probably the one that's used in a landscape the most as a landscape tree. It's called Autumn Gold, and it'll get 20, 30, 40 feet tall. Of course, the ginkgos, they all turn gold in the fall, but and so to get that Autumn Gold name, but that's one that's used quite a bit as a street tree or even a garden tree. It'll give you some size rather than having something that's more miniature or slow growing and dwarf. One that comes to mind, I'm gonna pick one out of these after I see them and what they do, but there's one that I don't have, and I'd mentioned Crispin Silva. He had down there in Oregon, he had one called Snow Cloud. I don't know who brought it to the trade. That might be his introduction, but I'm not sure. So we'll leave that there. But Snow Cloud has that white variegation, but it's more at the end of the leaf. So it's a white against the green, and it's pretty dramatic. So yeah, good question, because this. I would say yes. They're going to be grafted, so you have to take that into consideration. That I think the grafting is going to be just fine. Probably the smaller shrubby type ones, and if they don't have a lot of swelling. I'm not sure how they take for the wiring or not. I don't know. Do you have any idea on that? As far as bending and getting movement going on in them, I'm not real sure about that. But I think they could be desirable for it. And have you ever seen any of the shows or any ginkgos?
Yeah, I've seen ginkgos at shows.
Okay.
I would assume wire is the same as with maples. You got to treat them
Sure. Yeah.
the same at different seasons.
Yeah. So, and so they would. I think they would be just fine, and then the leaves and things. And we do have a few seedlings around too. So an interesting thing about ginkgos is that if you just grow a seedling ginkgo, you don't know whether they produce their seed. There's male and there's female, and the pollen and the female egg, and so when they propagate, and if you don't know what they are, if it's a seedling, you don't know if it's a female. If it produces seed, it can be pretty foul smelling, and I've never smelled it, but I know people that have, and they say it's not pleasant at all. So, so, so that's why all of the grafted ones are all male clones and not the female. So that's something to keep in mind if you ever grow a seedling ginkgo. Is that you would have to put up with that experience when they're in seed and bloom. So these will, we'll get these going. It'd be fun to watch them leaf out and look at the different sizes and variegation that's going on. These still have the understock on them. I'll be taking that off in just a little bit. So within the next month or so, as soon as they leaf out, I'm going to take the understock off and let them go. Thanks for joining us today and our talk about ginkgos, and it's always fun to have them around and people are interested in them. That's something becoming more and more popular. So thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you in the next video.